I think the JDR programme has a huge amount to offer STEP, both in the near term and on an ongoing basis. The first area which it can really help is input into design. As anybody who's taken something like an old car to bits will know, the process of unbolting and disconnecting things just leads you to understand it a whole lot more than you did when it was operating. And we can learn things, I think, from pulling apart JET, even although much of it will be different to STEP, but we can feed a lot of those lessons right into the early stage of the design programme in STEP and perhaps avoid some of the errors that we could have otherwise made. Maybe dissimilar metals causing corrosion in areas we hadn't thought of, flanges that are really difficult to access and unbolt, all sorts of lessons can be fed forward into the design programme. So that's the first really important benefit. The second area that JDR can help is in categorising and processing waste streams. And here for STEP, I don't really mean at STEP's very end of life, although that is important, but actually with STEP, we're going to activate components all the way through to a very high level, and we're going to have to remove and replace them and maintain the plant and upgrade it. And there is no basis for understanding that at the moment. So JDR is really going to be the benchmark on which we build the plan for STEP in terms of how to take things out, how to process them, what volume of waste storage we need, how to handle those components. All of that learning can be developed as a baseline through JDR and then taken into the development of STEP. The third area where JDR can really help STEP is around the end of life. And there's two aspects of that. The first is actually trying to quantify what the whole end of life and decommissioning process will look like and how much potentially it will cost. It's really important and in fact mandatory in government that when you create a new very large asset, you put aside some money for its decommissioning, for the liability that it causes. And JDR gives us some really good information and techniques around how to quantify that for STEP. But there's another almost more significant aspect I think that JDR gives, and that is the confidence through to stakeholders and the general public in particular that we actually know how to handle our fusion plants when they come to end of life before we even start to build them.
I think the technical work in JDR is certainly going to bring companies into fusion because there's a new aspect to the work who haven't been involved to date, for sure. So yes, I mean I think another aspect of it is that the global fusion community is really looking to JDR to do decommissioning properly. It's a really important case study that I think fusion organisations, commercial and non-commercial, will look to point to say, look, you not only can you operate these facilities safely, but you can take them apart safely and efficiently. So I think it's going to be quite a high-profile project.